Good day, everyone. I'm Rafael Eric P. Gibernas. I am the representative of Group 3. The lesson for today is Lesson 5, the International Convention on the Suppression and Punishment of the Crime of Apartheid. So, it refers to inhuman acts. What is apartheid? It refers to inhuman acts resulting from the policies and practice of apartheid and similar policies and practice of racial segregation and discrimination. It is crime constituting in serious threat to international peace and security. So, apartheid came from South Africa. So, it rooted from there. In South Africa, they are known for racism. They separated black people to white people. So, that is the root of apartheid. So, what is the crime category of apartheid? So, based on Article 1, the act of apartheid is considered as a criminal against humanity or like discrimination from the word rape or commonly known as racism. So next is who are criminal liable in apartheid. So based on the book, those organization, institution, and individuals committing crime of apartheid. So there are no exemption of this. So even organization that is doing discrimination or racism of other people is will punishable by the law. So, inhuman acts related to apartheid. So, based on the book, denial to a member or members of a racial group or groups of the right to life and liberty of a person. So, example of inhuman acts related to apartheid is like here in Davao, many of us telling that indigenous people are not belong in the city. Somehow they are belong in the rural areas. So that is the first example of apartheid. Like segregating indigenous people to the city segregating indigenous people to rural area and the cities. So, next is rules of states parties. So rules of states parties is to adopt any legislative or other measure necessary to suppress as well as to prevent any encouragement of the crime of apartheid, to adopt legislative, judicial, and administrative measure to prosecute, bring to trial, and punish the accordance with their jurisdiction persons. So, the role of our state to eliminate apartheid is to like evolve or maintain or put some many regulation so that people will be known will be discouraged to do such things like racism. So our organization is making laws that will discourage people to do this. That is the end of the topic of lesson 5. So now let's tackle about lesson 6, Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. So first is, what is the spirit of the CEDAW? It is rooted in the goals of United Nations to refrain faith in fundamental human rights, in dignity and worth of the human person, in the equal right of men and women. So, the spirit of CEDAW is to eliminate the discrimination against women or practice the equality of men and women. So what is meant by discrimination against women. So based on the book, the term shall mean by a discretion, exclusion, or restriction made on the basis of sex which has the effect of purpose of impairing or nullifying the recognition, enjoyment, or exercise by women. So basically, it is discriminating the right of women. So, for example, like discriminating the right to vote, to have to execute in the school of what they want, even if it is not uh, it even if it is not um, accordance to their gender. So that is the discrimination against women. Next is the three fundamental principle of CEDAW: the non-discrimination, state obligation, and substantive equality. So non-discrimination is the common one, is not to discriminate the right of all women, or to treat them right, or treat them equally for men and women. State obligation, so the right of the women to, or the obligation of women to do whatever she wants, or what he wants to do. And lastly is substantive equality, like even if we know that we are not the same gender, but somehow we should treat women equally for men. So rules of state parties embody the principle of equality of men and women in their national constitution, adopt appropriate legislative and other measures including sanction, establish legal protection of the rights of women on an equal basis with men, and to ensure through competent national tribunals. So the rules of our state parties is to develop or evolve to, or to make sanction and regulation against of violating the CEDAW, or against, or violating or discriminating the right of all women. So that is a rules of state parties. So now let's go to the measures to eliminate discrimination against women. So first is eliminate discrimination against women in the political and public life. So based in the book, to vote in all election and public referenda, to participate in the formulation of government policy, to participate non-government organization association. So based of this, like to eliminate the discrimination against women. Like for example, in the candidacy of president, everybody wants to, or some of us wants to vote a man leader, because they think that the man is the ruly or more compassionate than girls. So that is the right to eliminate perspective. So we must all think that they are the same capabilities. It differs from on them how to practice their roles in being a president. So these are the measures to eliminate discrimination against women in the political. So we all know nowadays that even if all gender has the right to vote. So that is some practice to eliminate discrimination against women in the political and public life. So next is measure to eliminate discrimination against women in the field of education. So, the shame of condition for career and vocational guidelines for access to studies and for the achievement of diplomas and education establishment. So, do so in my past studies in senior high school, I enrolled in automotive or technical and vocational education or tech voc, where I have we also have a classmate. We also have a girl's classmate. So I appreciate the generosity of our school is to eliminate the discrimination of women, of what they want to learn, even if we saw it as not able for their gender. But in this field, or they want the field of education, or they want to enroll the field of that, even if it is not, but the school give them the right to learn from them. So that is some of example of eliminating the discrimination against women in the field of education. So based on the book, the same access to the same curricular, access on same curricular, the same examinations. These are some of the practice to eliminate this discrimination. Next is measure to eliminate discrimination against women in the field of employment. So the right to work as inalienable right of all human being, the right to the same employment opportunities, the right to free choice of profession and employment. So according pa din sa course ko dati, which is automotive, is we have nagkanda kami ng research about this, about employment. Pagkatapos sila mag-aral ng automotive, ano ba ang mararamdaman nila sa pag-employ or sa in the workplace, kung tama ba yung treatment sa kanila or tama ba yung paglagay sa kanila sa trabaho. So it focuses on the feelings of women. So I think na bagay ito ipasok sa topic na ito about employment. So based on our research in senior high school, the outcome of our research is balance. Some of them are treating them right and some of them treating them wrong. So in research, in the interviews, we discover na ang uban na seniors is di sila gina-treat all right sa ilahang facilities. Like for example, graduated sila in automotive but hindi sila ginalagay sa mga like sa workplace, like where they can put their skills, but somehow ginabutang sila sa like sales lady because they they mastery the function of the car, so they can enable to explain in the customer. But somehow other shops that they go, they are treated like right, like if they want to go fixing cars, they put them in the facilities that they can manage or they can fix a car. So that is some of the practice to eliminate discrimination in the workplace. So next is measure to eliminate discrimination against women grounds of marriage or maternity. So in the book, prohibit subject to imposition of sanctions, to introduce maternity leave with pay with comparable social benefits, to encourage the provision and supporting social service, to provide special protection women during pregnancy and types of work prove to be harmful to them. So alam naman natin na hindi ganoon kadali ang magbubuntis. So let's focus about the maternity. So ngayon nakita ko na a lot of workplace na they support the girls that who is pregnant. They support this. They give a maternity leave. They pay salary even if they are in leave because of the maternity. And somehow in the like simple as falling a line, always the pregnant is going at the first. So that is the practice to eliminate discrimination, to know their right or to know the situation of the girls. So that is my understanding of these measures to eliminate discrimination against women on the grounds of marriage or maternity. So next is measure to eliminate discrimination on against women are on other areas of economic and social life. The right to family benefits, the right to bank loans, the right to participate in regional activities, sports, and all aspect of cultural life. So, practice na nakita na ko ani sa atong social life is like sa basketball. Makita na nato karon nga nanay girls division. So, misking known siya as boys sports, na Japon sila gina-build karon na girls sports. So which is mo na ilang gina-implement karon. However, na Japon sa atong surroundings na makita nga na Japon pag-discriminate or sa girls. Like for example, sa tuwa mga drivers here in Davao, pag nagani mag-cause og traffic sa dalan, like kotse kabalo din ta nga uy babae nag-drive ani ba. So mao to siya ang mga discrimination na nahitabo sa nahitabo sa mga babae. So we must practice to eliminate that one. So next is measure to eliminate discrimination against women in rural areas. So here it focuses on the girls who is in the rural areas. So gina-practice na to karon na tagaan sila og mas maayong paglantaw, like sa paghatag og trabaho, paghatag og mga seminars, sa ilang pagbuntis, hatag sa ilaha og mga supplies. So mao ni siya ang mga practice to eliminate the discrimination against women in rural areas. Na dili sila mabastos, like for example, moadto sila sa syudad, like mga indigenous people nato na ginatawag na tog badyaw, like sa ilang standing karon sa kinabuhi is dili nato sila so ginatagaan sila og learnings or mga opportunities to have the same rights among sa tuwa mga lalaki, like sa pag adto sa mga butang na inani, like sa ilang mga kinahanglunon, mo na ang gina-practice sa tuwa diri sa tuang nasod. So next is measure to eliminate discrimination against women in all matters relating marriage and family relation. The same right to enter into marriage, the same right to freely choose a spouse. So dati pa lang kina-introduce na nato ni na dili ang naay right ang babae na mamili siyang mabana, same right responsibility being a parents, like for example sa una kay I remember sa among history is like sa una daw dapat ang magtrabaho is lalaki lang, tapos ang mga babae is nasa balay, which is now lahi na. Tanan taron tanan ron sa family is nanay right ang babae na motrabaho, motabang, magsustento sa iyang mga anak. So that is the practice to eliminate the discrimination against women or relating to marriage and family relations. So now is who monitors the implementation of CEDAW by state parties? Sorry. So it is Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, composed independent body of experts. So meaning ano na siya, independent ni siya na law na yung mga particular people na naga monitor or implement ani nga law or protocols. So that is the end of my report of this lesson 5 and lesson 6, the Apartheid and the CEDAW. So thank you for your time to hear this, to hear my report, and I hopefully that you have learned something or you realize something about this report. So lastly, we are group 3 and I'm with my colleagues Rebecca Lil Joy, Clark Bukison, and Patrick Carl Arieta. Thank you guys.